Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Okay. What's up, OGs? What's going on? What's going on? I'm back with another video, right? And this one, this time I'm in the hot seat. Like, seriously. I'm super nervous. This show today is about me. It's about a story that I want to tell about myself. But ultimately, I wanted to hope to give some restoration and some type of help to those who, are in my situation or, don't really know where to go, what to do. I really want to just tell my story and get it out there, because by sitting here doing that, I know it's going to touch somebody and it's going to help somebody. So, yes, I'm a little nervous, but, I'm here, and I have a very, very special guest with me today, which is my good friend, Dwayne. And Dwayne is we're just gonna have a conversation.
Just a conversation.
We're just gonna have a conversation, We're gonna talk about things, and we're gonna, get some good points and stuff like that, and hopefully somebody gets blessed.
Absolutely.
All right. So, Dwayne is a really good friend, and is also someone that I chose to interview me because he can walked in my shoes, and so he knows exactly where I've been, what the thought process was, and all of that stuff like that.
Yeah.
So okay. I'm just trying to think where to start, guys.
Well, can I jump in?
Sure.
So I one of the things I think a lot of people don't understand is that nobody is on a journey alone. And a lot of times when we go through life's issues, we think that we're the only ones.
Right.
And you don't know how to process your thoughts. You don't know where to go to. You don't know how to get out if you want to get out, if getting out is something that's even possible.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And sometimes you just wonder, what's the next step? I mean, to the point where some people have died over their sexuation. Some people have turned to other things. And one of the biggest things, I think, for a lot of people is how to work through the shame of acceptance.
Of course.
The shame of, is this going to be my life? What do we turn to? What do we do? Who do we become? What does life look like for us long term?
Okay.
And I think that's one of the things. I just want people to know that they're not alone.
Yeah.
And that we can all overcome anything if we want to. And if it's for you, you can overcome.
For real. That's so, like, you couldn't have said it better. Because I just feel like, okay, for me, my sexuation is from as long as I can remember. Okay? Let me get comfy. Sorry.
Sit up on the couch, Josh.
I have to sit up on the couch because I want to be comfortable. Okay, so for as long as I can remember, right, I've had the attraction to same sex. So from when I was young, as primary school, I've had same sex attractions to males, and for the most part, when I felt it, it was, as a young kid, you don't really know how to process something like that. Right. You don't know how to process that. You feel it, and you're kind of just like, okay, you already immediately know, because from your mom or dad or whoever, oh, you're not supposed to like boys like that if you're a boy. Girls, you're not supposed to like girls like that if you're a girl, right? So immediately you go into this, like, you have to hide it, or you know what I'm saying, type of thing. So I think what it did for me when I was young, I had a friend that I was really close with, and he, I don't know, little boys or whatever, they call it sword fighting, or the curious. When we're young, the curious. So
sword fighting.
Sword fighting.
I'm not going to try to imagine.
But like you have younger or whatever. This topic, guys, is gonna be a lot of stuff that people don't like to talk about out loud. But this is why we're here in the cut with me. You understand?
Right.
This is stuff where you can talk about that is real and open in a safe space where you can
Yes.
feel comfortable to talk about it. It should be talked about. It happens, you
Right.
know, and people act like they don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway,
I think it's throwing rocks.
and I live in a glass house, boo. So no, but so yeah, when I was younger, it was more like I had an experience with a friend, and it kind of escalated a little bit more than just sword fighting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was a little bit of like, I'm not gonna go into too much, you know, detail. We was young, you know, but it just got a little bit more escalated, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that right there, I think, kind of pushed the feelings or kind of made it more like
Real.
potent and real. Like, you know, so maybe, you know, and then, you know, it's dangerous, but it kind of feels right, especially if it's a friend, you know,
So would you say that that was an innocent occurrence? Like it started out innocent and evolved, or did you have in the back of your mind already an awareness?
I think it evolved.
Okay.
It definitely evolved, because when I first started, it was innocent, because it was me and it was a couple of other young boys.
Right. So it's just boys doing what boys do.
It was boys doing boys do, but one of the persons branched out to me. I don't know if it's something they saw in me that, you know, when sharks smell blood.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Or a pack of dogs, you're gonna sniff out the weakest one, right?
Right.
So I don't know what it was about me that they done wanted to say, well, hey, you know, I would be more willing to go a little further.
Mm-hmm.
And meaning further, meaning fellatio or dry humping naked.
So
You know,
at
so
what
it's
age was this?
5.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I was 5. The other person was the same age.
Yeah.
But what it told me is that from an early age, how did he know how to do these things?
Right.
I mean, I don't know how his household was or how you grew up and stuff, and that's why you have to be very careful with your kids, with young boys especially. Girls too, I'm just saying young people in period like that. Because, you know, you don't know how they raise their child in their household. You know what I mean? Like, I was a very, you know, innocent, and, you know, he was too and stuff like that. But for some reason, like you said, he took a liking to me, and it went further into things that I mentioned.
Right.
And so that kind of, I think that was the first time that the energy or the spirit solidified in me to say, like, okay, this is resonating with me. This is something that feels like, it feels right to me. You know, even in my young mind, it's just like, you know, you get, oh, you know, what you want to do it all the time.
Right.
And it happened all the time. More and more and more and more.
So it became like normal.
Yeah.
It became like a regular, normal occurrence for you. Got you.
It became very, very comfortable and normal until, like, we got caught one day, and one of the boys caught us in the bathroom, and, you know, he told and whatnot, and we were just kind of like, after that, everything changed. Like, when I mean everything changes, that I felt safe. I felt like, okay, guys, this is happening, but at the same time, what happened to me is the friend that was doing it, and I felt was the one who initiated, he was the one that now turned around and turned on me, and then had the school, had people teasing me like I was the big, excuse my language, faggot, or whatever the case is, right? Like, I was the one who was, you know what I mean? But it was him, he was the one who initiated it and taught me these things I didn't know.
Right.
You understand? So it's like I was betrayed by my friend, and then now I have to deal with the whole school teasing me and calling me names.
Right.
While it kind of seemed like he just got let off scot-free and everyone was still cool with him.
Yeah.
So it I think, and then that night it got back, and this is what really started the whole mess up in my mind. This happened to me. Yes, I didn't say no, but I was taught things. Right? And once it happened, parents got notified. My older brother was notified because he was the same school at the time. When we got home, I told him not to tell my parents. Anyway, he told them. That night, rest my dad's soul, because I love him to death. I will always love him. And he had beat me senseless that night when he found out that I was doing things with a boy. Because I guess the term beat the gay out of him, you know, was was something that, you know, any man, most straight males or from the old school,
Right.
would do when they see that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's what happened. And
So would you say that you developed like shame or self-worth issues?
both.
Got you.
Like, as it took everything I felt out of me, because not only did I felt like I was being beaten for something that I didn't deserve, because I wasn't the one. Like I said, I didn't initiate this. This was something that I just felt like I was getting so much more of a harsher punishment for this, for something that I was brought into,
Right.
rather than I went out and did a bad thing, or I did this to somebody's child. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not totally trying to throw the person or throw anybody under the bus, or really come for them in any type of way. Like, that's not my purpose, sir.
Right.
Right? My purpose is to tell my story.
Yes.
And
Got
this
you.
is how I know to tell my story. Right? So after that, it was also my dad treated me different. I became scared of him. I became
Yes.
scared and timid of men that were very abrupt and, I guess, manly men and loud and sturdy and stuff. And so it made me frightened, because from what happened. And then my dad started treating between me and my older brother just slightly different, like where my older brother was like his right hand man, and I was more like have to be.
Wow.
Okay, well, since his, you know, she's a little gay, or she's whatever, we're gonna have to maybe man him up a little bit or whatever. So I didn't get the same treatment so much. I'm not saying my daddy didn't love me. He loved me to pieces. But at that time, he was dealing with something that he did not understand.
He didn't understand it. He didn't know what to do.
He didn't know what to do.
So his instinct probably was, okay, I have to fix him.
Fix him.
And
I'm
so
broken.
in order for me to fix him, then I have to, like you said earlier, either beat it out of him or isolate him. Maybe if I isolate him,
Yeah.
he'll come around.
Yeah.
Not understanding that the psyche was much deeper. I'm not a counselor.
No.
You know what I mean? I'm not a counselor. This is just life experience.
It's life experience.
It's just life experience. And
Yeah.
I think that to your dad, he loved you, but he didn't know how to express his love without misunderstanding in himself that what you needed was for him to embrace you, to heal you,
Yes.
not isolate you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the isolation is what then takes you down a path.
It solidified it.
Right.
It solidified my.
Right.
Okay, well, this is my path.
Right.
You know, that's what it solidified. And I stayed home with mom and my aunties and nana.
Yes.
And you know, because they made me feel safe.
Right.
My mom and, you know, females was always a place where they made me feel safe.
Yes.
So I started hanging around there. My girl cousin Mika, shout out to Meeks. We became extremely close, and so that was my best friend. Sleepovers over up the homestead. I would sleep over her house and stuff like that. So I became very comfortable with women. Women were my safe space, and then it really made me feel safe. And that's when I developed a lot of feminine tendencies as well, because it's a really young boy and very impressionable.
Right.
Impersonable, whatever. And you know, you kind of like your influences or who you're hanging around like that constantly can be a very big impact on a child's life. So I really have high respect for women when it comes to that, because they just made me feel safe.
Right.
And I didn't really like, from there on, it was just like it was hard to make male friends.
So, I mean, I know we talked about the way your dad responded and how I think he should have probably responded. What do you think you needed from him?
I think I needed from him to embrace me and say, I love you. It's okay. Let's talk about it.
Right.
Let's talk about it. Because I'm a big talker. Like, let's talk about it.
But you were 5.
Yeah, that's true. But he could have still said something besides his
No,
fist.
no, the reason I'm saying you were 5.
Oh.
Did you even?
Oh.
Would you even
No.
have been able to
Got you.
comprehend?
Got you.
You know what I mean? Because back in the day, it was like Spritty Rod, sporty child. So he's probably thinking, I have to correct this now because he's 5 years old, not thinking that he's actually reinstilling it
Yes.
in you.
Yes.
And saying, okay, this is what I believe happened. When he beat you, you realize, okay, on a subconscious level, I need to please my dad.
Yeah.
And so because you need to please your dad, you start looking for men to please.
Yes.
Or male figures.
Yes.
To please.
That's exactly. I couldn't have said it, but that's why I have him here, because he has the gift of the gab. I try to talk, but yeah,
he has the gift of the gab. He never stops talking.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree with like how you say it now, needing the affection, longing for that affection of a male friend. And that started in a long line of male friends.
Right.
From primary to middle school to high school, attaching myself to any male that would be friendly with me or that would be friend or whatever. It was like that was fine, but it's like it didn't satisfy me with the friendship. I needed to long for it to be more. And that's where the intimacy, the attraction was there. And that's when the attraction was like, I want you to be my boyfriend, not just my ace boy. And that's where because I was longing for something deeper than just friendship. And I didn't, at that time, even in my adolescence, like preteen and stuff, I didn't know that.
Right.
I didn't know that. Like, I could sit here firmly and comfortably saying that now. But back then, I didn't know that.
And it's interesting because there's such a thing that, not to get all spiritual and everything,
speak your mind.
But there's such a thing called like a root of rejection.
Okay.
Right? And I think the root of rejection causes us to look for things that are perverse in nature. And when I say perverse, I'm not talking about sexual perversion. Mm-hmm. I'm just talking about things that are unnatural in their desire.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so with the root of rejection, I understand rejection. Mm-hmm. Right? And so for me, rejection turned to me looking for food for comfort.
Okay.
And so here we are.
Right. Yeah.
so in trying
You're
to
still sexy, big baby. Sorry.
So in trying to turn this whole thing around, I'm now on a quest at the age of 53 to figure out how to love me completely.
Sure.
Right? I know how to give love.
Yeah.
But is that love complete? Is it whole? So for you, would you say that the root of rejection, I mean, I'm just bringing this on to you right now, but does that sound like it makes any sense to you?
As far as
rejection looks for things to feed its longing. So if you have, if you felt rejected by your dad, you look for these other men to feed that area of rejection.
Yes. Okay. With that, it was me longing for like friend. If I had a friend, a male friend especially, it was nothing I wouldn't do for him.
Right.
Meaning, and it's nothing sexual at all. Mm-hmm. Maybe in my mind I wanted it to go there, but they were straight males, so I couldn't go there. But in my mind, it was nothing I would do. I would be. It almost became like, okay, like you need money, food, transportation, anything I would do to help out, and it kind of in a ways made me feel like a girlfriend.
Yes.
Almost like a wife.
Okay.
If you feel what I'm saying, like when I say that, it's like you have to. It's like I would dote on them because I'm trying to please them. I'm trying to please them so much to say because I was looking for acceptance.
Yes.
So I needed to please people so much that if they just liked me for who I am, or if they liked me, like I would feel some type of acceptance within myself, like to say like, okay, it's like a sigh of relief, like somebody loves me, somebody accepts me, like I'm looking for, because I can't accept myself.
Yes.
Somebody else accepts me, and maybe that would feel good, or maybe that might.
Maybe that'll complete me.
Maybe that will complete me.
Right.
And so I took a lot. I put up with a lot of people abusing me, because when not everybody in this world is gonna see someone that needs help and help them. Some people Some people are opportunists.
Correct.
And they look at me and they see weakness and like, oh, yeah, I'll play along to get what I want, to use you, to do this, to do that. And that's how I had a lot of friends in and out my life who used and abused me, because for whatever that I could give them.
Right.
You know, because and I found out at the end of the day they weren't really my real friends or whatever. Because.
But then the question begs to this also: were you really their friend?
No, I guess not. Because I was looking for something that I didn't even know that I was looking for.
Right.
So I was kind of like attaching myself to these lot for acceptance or reassurance or something as far as validation or whatnot for me.
You used the word. You see that?
I used the word because when I talk, and you guys probably noticed it by now in my interviews, when I talk, I don't know a whole lot of just big words, just pop, say that, and that means a whole thing. I have to explain what I'm talking about. So it takes me a minute to get around the bush a little bit, and then back to the topic, so you know what I'm talking about, where I'm coming from. All right? But I used the word.
You used the word. Validation.
Validation. I almost forgot. Validation. It was validation. So... It, like I said, subconsciously I was looking for validation, so I really wasn't looking for the friendship.
Right.
But to me, I thought it was just friendship. You know, so I really, it's crazy how you really like how you go through stuff like that. Like you say, like people use you and you just keep doing it because you're just like, it was like I was looking for the right person. I don't know. It's just like it's a search.
Yes.
You're searching for something. You know, and you don't know what you're looking for. Maybe it's a feeling I was looking for.
So when you were going through all of this, right, and when you were looking for these friends for validation, did any of them know that this is what was going on?
In the later years, yes.
Okay.
In the earlier years, no.
Okay.
In the earlier years, I did not tell anybody about me like that or like my sexuality. It was a secret, obviously. Okay. It was a secret. I mean, most people know me. Most of you who are watching this and know me from like childhood days or school days or whatever, because of my mannerisms and stuff like that, people are automatically gonna take feminine tendencies, especially in a boy, to say he's gay.
Right.
And you know, if you're uneducated about stuff like this, which back in the 80s and early 90s, we wasn't educated on this, you're going to say, okay, well, he's acting like a girl. Right. He wants to be a girl. He must be gay because he likes boys.
So did you ever try to, like, suppress your energy?
Hell yes.
Okay.
What that looked like for me, many disguises.
Okay.
I lost myself. I lost myself in trying to find myself. Like I would try to be like a thug like the other boys with the dressing and trying to make my voice deeper or just trying to like be
How you mean?
Like, you know, you irritate me, yo. You put me right on this. Like, I would just talk with Bermudian, like, what you saying, Don? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we guys are getting down the road, getting a couple of birds or something. Like, you know, like, I would just kind of be...
You're trying to bring the macho forward.
The macho.
Yeah.
The macho. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't work for me. You know, I tried gothic looking type stuff. Like, you know, it was a period I went through punk rock music and all of that, goth music and stuff like that. You know, I tried all kinds of different things, man. Like different crowds, like me really smart. They call them nerds or whatever. Like hanging in with them because I liked comic books and stuff like that. But nothing. It was like a parade of masks. Yes. I didn't like it. It was.
How old are you, Josh?
I'm 35.
Okay. All right. Do you realize that some people never come to this realization?
Really?
Yeah. Some people live their whole life in mask mode.
I can see that.
Because mask mode, as hard as it is easier to live in denial than to face your fear. Especially if you think your fear is going to kill you. So I think that you are ahead of a lot of people. You know, and I think that that's commendable.
It's really. The air conditioner for me. I'm sorry, go on.
What about the air conditioner? The air conditioner, because the air conditioner's clean.
It's gotta be serviced.
They probably
Right.
That doesn't get stuff.
But yes, I understand that, and I feel I started to realize that later in my life, way before I was 35.
Right.
I started to realize that because the more and more I went through life and the more open I got with myself, the more soul searching I did. I started talking to people. I started reaching out to people. I started, analyzing, different people and different things about myself and getting answers there. I did counseling. I did life coaching, stuff like that. So try to just find answers because, to be honest, I don't know how any of you feel out there that might be LGBTQ. I don't consider myself in that community, to be honest. I'm gonna just put that out there first of all. But if any of you are out there and you feel like that's you, that's fine. I'm not here to put anything on anyone. Like I said, this is my story. And I'm just telling a story, and I'm having a conversation with a really good friend that I want my story to be told through. And at the end of the day, I'm just hoping it to be inspirational. And what I said that to say because I was very unhappy. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, you what they show more decide on movies and in life, they show these I'm gonna just be gay people, lesbians, whatever, they show them more like happy.
Yeah.
Like it's like they've overcome the stigma of people teasing them. And it's this big triumph thing and stuff like that. Can I be honest? To me, that's bullshit. No, seriously, it's bullshit.
Do you feel like the BS is more? You're saying it's BS is because of Bermuda and your environment growing up, or is it BS because it's just BS? People can't be happy.
I feel that people describe happiness in all different kinds of ways. But for me, my happiness, I always wanted
right, because this is your story.
It's my story.
Got you. Okay.
So my opinion on happiness wasn't being gay, wasn't being bisexual.
Why?
Because I was unhappy.
Okay.
It made me feel unhappy.
You get mad at me?
No, I'm sorry. I'm very passionate when I speak on certain topics, and my passion can be borderline looking like I'm screaming at somebody.
I'm cool.
So what I mean to say is that it was a part of me that I feel I was raised right, and my thing was I always wanted a wife and kids and a home. I saw my mom and dad; they were together.
Yes.
Right up until my dad passed 2020, and so they were. I saw that. I saw the family unit. I always wanted a family unit. I always wanted lots of kids and a wife and stuff like that. That was my dream. That's
right.
what, to me, that was happiness. I loved women. I still love women. It's just the connection, the connection that I have or always felt with a woman, with a man, could never compare.
Okay.
It could never compare.
Okay.
Like, I've told people, I've told you this tons of times. I've told other people, like, if they ask me, well, what's your preference? I know you said you're bisexual, but what's your preference? And I'm just like, what you want to know? What you trying to say? So, yes, I'm married to a woman, which I love, right? But at the same time, I think my attraction for man is pure lust.
Yes.
Now that I've come to this realization over all the years, I think it has to do with lust.
Yes.
And that's another topic I want to get into.
I think
right now.
Actually, before we go there, I want to talk about dating. Right?
Okay.
Right, and then we can go to the last aspect of dating.
Okay.
So
that works.
For dating, like how did dating look for you?
Yeah. Okay. So with me with dating, with my earliest sessions or whatever, I never really dated. I would date guys. Well, not really date, but I would, kind of, get to know different guys type of thing. It was the crowd I hung around. They was all like that. So that was like, I would say my rebellious years, which was like my teenage years, preteen, and my like stuff like that. I was really, I was rebellious. I was angry. I didn't understand what was going on with me. And I was mad that people were coming at me for it. Because I didn't understand why I was this way and I didn't like it. I hated myself. I hated how I thought, how I felt for men. But I still, like you said, I had the curiosity, the urge, or whatever, the feeling that I was still thriving off of to want to explore this thing more. So when it comes to dating, like, it wasn't until a little bit later when I got involved with my first wife. And I was pretty much straight up at that point. I would meet a girl or whatever and let her know. I'm very honest. I've never been somebody to lie about who I am. So I would meet them, and like when we get to know each other, I would let them know that I am bisexual. And, I would leave it in the balls in their court, so to speak, to say like, well,
I can do this.
I can do this, so I can do it. And it wouldn't hurt me because I'm a very honest person. I've always been honest. So I would always put that out there for them too. So no one could ever come back to me and say that, your husband this way, or, do you know this about your husband, or do you know this about your boyfriend or whatever? Yes, I do know. And that's perfectly fine with me. Right? So when it came to dating though, with both sexes, I felt like it was scary. It was scary for me because I didn't know what to, at first. Now that I know that with women, I connect on an intimate level. It's with women, I like to get to know them. They make me fall in love easily. They make me like, I love what a woman represents. I love her role, not to sound like it's back in the 50s. But I love what she brings forth. I love her essence. I love how we would like be together. But I have to get to know them and stuff. I can't just see a girl. Well, I'm lying. I can look at both sexes and be like, damn, they fine. Type of thing. Like, I can do that. But at the same time, when you're talking about being intimate, having sex, or being in a relationship, I have to get to know you.
Right.
Therefore, I would not be able to have intercourse or sex with you if I don't know you.
Right. So that goes down to the lust aspect. So with a woman, you have to develop or nurture or grow intimacy. Yes?
Yes.
Would you say?
Yes, that's exactly right.
With a man, it was more animalistic.
Yes, very.
Right.
Very.
So then we have to figure out or learn how to identify lust versus love. Because lust and love can look the same. Because they behave the same.
Yes.
But the intention is not the same.
No, it's not.
Like lust takes.
Oh, yeah.
And love gives.
Gives, exactly.
Right? So you wanted to get on the road of lust. So I understand lust because lust is easier.
Oh, yeah.
Love is work. Love is work. And like lust is lazy, really.
Yeah. It's easy.
All you got to do is go.
It's just on physical. It's physical. Pure physical.
Yeah.
I see you. You're hot. Yeah. Let's make out.
Let's
you're
make
hot.
Let's make out.
Let's make out.
Do the white girl flip.
Let's make out.
I'm allowed to say that.
I'm hot. You're hot. We're both hot. Let's do the damn thing. No. No, but seriously, like that's lust.
Just so you know, I don't use that kind of language, okay? But that's him. I'm just saying.
He does it. And I shouldn't, but yes. Yes, lust was it was a problem, like I said, with dating as well. With that, when it came to a woman, like you said, the first times, like after my first wife and between my wife now, I did most of my dating with women. And so when that was going on, it was kind of like, okay, these women, I was at a stage where I was like, I just want to screw anything that walks at that point. My heart was broken from my first marriage, and I just wanted to have fun at that point, right? So when it came to
to women, like you said, like they were more like they wanted to just have sex, but I had to say no. I have to get to know you first, type of thing. You know, at least a week or two.
You got to be primed.
Yeah.
Prime me.
Yeah. You know, because even though for me, like, I really like how I loved women and all, like, you know, the more intimacy and stuff like that. I couldn't, like, they almost not scared me, but I had put them up on such a high pedestal that I felt that I was not good enough or adequate for them. For men, it was different. It was like, not to belittle a Don man or anything like that, but come on, guys, like, God, they just want to get a nut most of the times. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying women are not like that too, but guys are more upfront with it, and they don't really care. Especially if you're drunk or you're under the influence of something or whatever. It's just like, shoot, we're at this party with her. Your game, I'm game. It's game time. Whereas, so it's like, this is hollow.
Right.
But with women, there's substance to me. It's always been substance. It's always been like, you have to conquer that. You have to deserve that. You can't just go and it's just like a bang. It's not like that.
Right.
And so it intimidated me.
So really, there are straight, gay, bisexual, LGBTQ, LMNOP,
VSUV vibe 600.
Right. So really, even straight people experience that.
Yeah.
Meaning with the opposite sex.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So men experience lust for women too. Like, you have to be developed in your relationship.
Yes.
But that same lust thing falls on, quote unquote, straight men. And a lot of times they can't differentiate, or we can't differentiate between what's love versus what's lust. Because we'll see a beautiful woman, and the first thing we think is, she's fine.
They want to mate.
Yeah. And so what happens is, people fall in lust, not in love, and they develop a relationship with, and they marry somebody that they lust over.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's hollow, so there's no future.
No.
And you may be attracted to their shell, but what's inside to you is rotten. It's not rotten, but to you it's rotten.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not even like, oh, this is just a gay thing. This is just across, that whole lust thing is across the board.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. It doesn't just stop at, the addiction doesn't stop at homosexual, straight, bisexual. It's a continuum. And I think the biggest problem with lust, really, and I said it earlier, is really figuring out, what does love genuinely look like? So for you, what is love? Are you able to explain to me, what does love look like?
Yes. Okay, to me, love is somebody, or love is something that it conquers all. It's your peace when you come home from work. It's your smile when you get up in the morning. It's something that it holds no record of wrong. It's unconditional. It's always there for you, even when in the ugly parts, even all the down moments and stuff like that. It still picks you up and still embraces you. It's always forgiving. It's
beauty, isn't it?
It's beautiful. It's love. Like, word is just a word, but love, I think, is what we put to it. And what I put to it, love is my savior. Love is my savior.
Right.
Like, love is like, love is my wife.
That's what I was thinking. Don't cry, Josh.
I'm trying to not.
That's beautiful, man.
It's just, no, it's I've been through so much, and and to have someone like her to come in my life and accept me and all my bullshit, man, and accept me for all these stuff that I've been through, and me just to be totally honest with her, and she's just so loving. All the things I described is her.
Yes.
And she has my back no matter what. And it took a long time for me to find someone like that.
Yes.
but I didn't even know what I was looking for. And that's why I said all of that crap is BS or whatever. Maybe it might be their happiness, how they feel about it, living a gay life and being out there, but it's not for me. It's not for me because it doesn't make me happy. It doesn't make me do this. She's making me do this, not a man. They could never.
Right.
You know, when you search for something so long and you analyze yourself for so long, you're going to find something sooner or later, you know.
Correct.
And I found truth. We think because we have these feelings so much that we just supposed to just lay over and roll and just give in to what we feel. That's not right. You're not supposed to do that. We were created with feelings and emotions to control. You're not supposed to allow your feelings and your emotions to control you.
Right.
A lot of people have it twisted. It took me years to learn this.
Right.
So when I was doing all my soul searching, I was going through all of my times and trying to figure this out. And who Josh is, who am I? I didn't think about the one thing. It's just like, if this feeling is hurting me so much, why am I still indulging in it? Why am I liking this? Why do I like this feeling? Denounce it. Deny it. It's okay. You control your feelings. You control your emotions.
Right.
We have the power to do that. So if you feel something that's making you want to die, want to kill yourself, obviously to me, this is my story. I'm not talking to anybody else. It's destructive. Why still have it a part of your life?
Right.
Why suffer? I literally made myself suffer until I figured out that it's just a feeling.
Right.
So if I could feel this and not feel this and not feel that, I can not feel this. I can denounce it. I can deny it. It's a feeling. It's just a feeling. We give too much power and too much credit. You could name anything right now that you feel like doing. If you're a diabetic and you feel like eating 2 14-inch pizzas, a gallon of ice cream, and a whole liter of bottle of soda, what the hell that's going to do to you?
Right.
You already know what the consequences are. You already know that what's good for you, what's not good for you. And I know it especially because I have did so much soul searching and been through so much things. I know myself so well. And if I had these feelings or have these feelings, it's something that I choose to deny.
Right. So what happened? What happened that caused you to even become introspective? You know what?
Yes, I think I know what you're talking about. What means the deciding factor to make me wanna
to even look,
yeah,
to even look at yourself and say, okay, something's not right.
Yeah.
So did something trigger it, or was it just a realization of a time?
Well, as of right now, I'm going to bring my Lord and Savior, my almighty Jesus in this. I'm not trying to get preachy. I'm not trying to have a sermon here. But I would be stupid to let this interview go or this conversation go past without acknowledging that I had full help from my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Like, if it wasn't for my faith, I don't know where I'll be.
Yes.
I could think of some really dark places and some places that I would be very... not like this how you see me right now, okay? So I have to give all praise to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Like, just knowing God and getting to know him personally, my personal relationship with him has helped me realize, like, it's put a lot of things into perspective. When you spend a whole lot of time searching for yourself, trying to see, like, who am I as a man? What am I? Who am I? Like, where do I belong? Am I supposed to be bi? Am I supposed to be gay, Lord? Am I supposed to be heterosexual? What is happening? You know, we have a lot of questions. And, you know, I wasn't really raised Christian, but, you know, I came up in the church somewhat and whatnot like that. So I kind of leaned to God to just ask him and just prayed about it. Okay. And a lot of times for many years, he was slapping me right in the face with the answer, but I wasn't ready to hear it.
So what was the answer?
The answer was... The answer was, he told me every time, it wasn't an easy answer. Because it's all of Josh and jokiness and you lot at work know what I'm talking about. But then it's the spirit side of the homosexual and the or bisexual or whatever side that he does not like. So it's kind of like he told me this is who you are as far as a person, as far as like how am I personality.
Okay.
But when it came to the act of what I was doing, it was always something there to let me know that this is wrong, or it felt wrong, or this is not right. And I simply stopped getting pleasure from it.
Okay.
I said, when I was younger, maybe because I was younger and puberty and whatever. And because sometimes when you deny something, it becomes stronger somehow, they say, because there's something that you want and you gotta kind of like say, no, I don't want that. So it makes you want it even more. Maybe that was it when I was young, but the desire has passed. I think it stopped. It became like, it just dulled. It dulled down, where it was like, yes, I still find myself attracted to the same sex, but am I in pursuit of any male? No. Am I going and cheating on my wife or doing anything physical with anyone? No. Like, it just got to a point where it was just like,
so it's just a temptation that's out there.
Yeah, at this point.
Okay.
At this point, it's just a temptation where it's.
So that means, because, okay, you brought in Jesus, right? So the Bible says, yield not to temptation.
Yes.
So that means that there are going to be temptations in our life.
Of course.
Right? So a lot of times I think people think that deliverance, for lack of a better word, means you never have the issue in your life anymore.
Right.
And that's not necessarily so.
No, that's not true.
Because what happens is, okay, it's there. You learn that the feelings are not in charge.
No.
That's what you said earlier.
Yes.
And so it's there. And so you decide, okay, so it's there. That doesn't mean I have to give in to it.
Exactly.
Right?
That's exactly true. Like, because of like you said, you feel something. And if I know where it's going to take me, why give in to that feeling? Why, why take me there? I've spent too much time of my life, longing for a happiness that I have now.
Right.
And it's like, I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize that. So like you said, at this point, for me, it's just about resisting the temptations.
Okay.
And as long as you have like that support behind you, and you have a good faith or a personal relationship with God or whatnot, or if you don't even believe, just somebody that is in your corner that's strong and that believes that you can do it or whatever, even though I would recommend to get a little bit of faith, because trust me, you're gonna need it for this. This is a battle. This is not for the faint of heart. This is something that's gonna take a while. It's a rehab.
Yeah.
It's a rehabilitation. You change
change
yourself
your mind.
this for so long since young. I've trained and thought this way. Now you gotta untrain it. Now you gotta avoid this or deny this and deny that. So as much as it's a process it takes for you to get to when you're doing all your crap, it's the same process to, I guess, devolve from that. So it's not like it can't be done. It's for those who are willing.
And those who want it.
Those who want it. You have to have, if you want it, that's who I'm really talking to. I mean, I'm talking to everyone. But those who want change, you have to invoke it. You have to have a mindset for it. You can't just like be like, I'm out here talking to somebody and it's just like, oh, well, a lot of people, like we said earlier, what's wrong with being bisexual? What's wrong with having gay feelings or bisexual feelings or whatever? Who told you or who made you think that that's bad or whatever? You have to remember, I'm telling my story. I'm telling my story and how I feel about it. Okay? I'm not speaking for everyone else. But if you want to speak on that, like you said, biblically understanding, we were created a male and a female, a penis and a vagina. I guess if anyone has smarts, it's obviously that men were created and then women were created for man. So the whole gay, bisexual, LGBTQ, STR, do 385, 100, guac guac, something, or whatever, is something that's a perversion because it's not natural. It was not naturally created like that. And, you know, people can come for me, but that's their choice. It wouldn't make me any mad if they did. They're expressing their feelings. How I'm expressing my feelings. I'm expressing how I feel. And so, I think, like I said, with how I feel about it, it's a feeling that you can deny because it's something that it was not right for me. I soul searched to find who I am. And I did it through asking my Lord God who I am, who am I? And he showed me who I was.
And really, the only way you can deny it, because if you try to deny it outside of God, you're doing yourself a huge disservice, really. Because you can't, you have how to fight it with God. So outside of God,
so
it's almost impossible.
It's almost impossible.
Well, it's probably impossible.
It's impossible.
Right? And I think that's probably why people, like you said earlier, they find happiness, even though it's BS for you. I think they find happiness because they have given up on trying to fight.
Yeah.
So what do you say to the people who have given up on trying to fight, that want to fight, but they're just tired?
What I said to that question, like people who have given up, or people that do feel lost and
they're tired.
They're tired.
Right.
They're tired of the fight. They're tired of soul searching and going back and forth and stuff like that.
And not feeling like God's even answering. Like, what do you say?
Don't give up. Don't give up. Trust me. Don't give up.
I think people have to also understand, back to God. Sorry, that's my Santa. So
yeah,
my
Christian.
So my Santa is God.
Sometimes I'm Christian.
Right.
Okay.
No, you're always Christian.
Yes, I'm always.
So I think that a lot of the times we have to understand that God's ways are not our ways. I know that sounds like a cliche, but it's really not a cliche. He can hold you in your situation. When I say hold you in your situation, not hold you bound into it. He can hold you regardless of your situation. And I think a lot of times we think that God has to fix us, and he does.
Right.
Why are you looking at me like that?
No, it was the people upstairs. It was
when I'm talking about God.
He's not talking about God. The people start stumping. It was like, oh Jesus. Sorry, go ahead.
So I think that a lot of times people have to just allow God to work them out. Allow God to work them out and let him do his work in them. Because I think if we try to rush God's hand, we cause devastation in our own lives.
Oh yeah.
Right? So I forgot what I was going to say. Does that ever happen? Where people forget what they were going to say?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe I'll remember in your next statement, I'll be like, oh, right, that's what I was going to say.
There you go.
Right.
So yeah, I totally agree. If you want help. Like you said, God keeps us in a situation sometimes because he wants us to either learn something.
I don't think he keeps us. In other words, I don't think he holds our head underwater and says, draw on soccer.
No, we're not like
I think underwater he'll say, I'm got you.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, but I just said keep because I'm trying to speak in terms that people, not everyone would get it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like you said, like he's gonna have you there, but it's holding your hand. He don't let go of you.
Right.
And I feel like with me, because I was going around and around and around and around in the wilderness so much times, it was like I would pick it up, then I'll put it down, give it to God, then I'll pick it
back up again.
Give it to God, then I'll pick it back up again. And I went around so much, and it was like, okay, Josh, you're not learning.
Right.
Like I have you here for a reason. I have you here for a purpose. I want you to learn something so that you can sit here one day and tell these people what you've learned from me, what you've learned out of it, and that there is a way out.
Right.
And there is help. And there is hope.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't have to just live your life and feel like, stressed or depressed or feeling like you don't love your family or whatever the case is. Like there's help, man. There's help, but you have to be willing. You have to want it.
And I think a lot of times too, the help doesn't necessarily it doesn't always come from people.
No.
Because I think that people have tried to reach out to people, but they haven't found a solution with people. Mm-hmm. Because people, just like your dad, they don't know what to do. Like if you're in a situation that I'm not in, I don't know how to help you.
Exactly.
I can give you cliche answers,
right,
and all this Christianese language words and stuff like that. But if you're dealing with something that I have no idea how to deal with, people really have to turn to God.
Yeah, they do.
Because humans, we're all broken.
Yeah.
And so we don't know. I'm trying to find my next question on her. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, like one of the things that I wanted to talk about also is sorry, I'm just trying to get my
your bearings
down or whatnot. Yeah, so for people, I feel like, forgive me, you guys, because I feel like it's a lot more that I want to talk about, and I feel like I'm not, it's a lot more that I want to talk about.
Well, the thing is, it's a lot to talk about.
It is,
right? And we could talk about this for the next 10 days, and not have accomplished all of it.
That's so true. So what I feel is that going back on the part of feeling inadequate, or like I always felt like a disappointment. Mm-hmm. I really just want to recapture some of those things or whatever for people, for young men, older men, middle-aged men, or whatever like that. Feel what I feel, or might have feelings that I'm going through, or that you're going through that might be the same. Like I always felt like I was a disappointment to my family. Always did. My older brother, he was like, him and my dad were really close, and he went everywhere he did. Left the nest early, got married, 2 boys, nice strong boys, and his just excelled college, the whole white picket fence thing. Not saying nobody's life's perfect, right? But at the same time, it's what him making that lead, that first paving the way as one of the kids, and then here I come. And I'm all over the place. Josh don't know what he wants. 1 minute I'm up, 1 minute I'm down. Super emotional. Didn't have a cap at all on my feelings or emotions. It was horrible. Like, it was really a train wreck to watch. Like, I was very emotional. So, I just felt like I was like a disappointment to my father. And I sought out a lot of older men in a father figure way. Like you said, not to say, oh, this is what I wanted to say. That's what, going with this. It's the same thing. My dad was awesome. Rest assured, my dad is awesome, okay? I was the one going through my crap that pushed away his teachings. Because my dad, okay, I'm gonna tell you a brief story that goes with this. Now, after some time, I think I was around 15, 16, I was in Cedar Bridge. I was going to high school. And it was, at the time, I was hanging out with my other friends that were bi or gay, and we were kind of, closet, whatever the case was. And we was up Samesex, and one of the latest house that he was painting, my daddy was a painter, so one of the latest houses he was painting, whatever, must have been saying, one of her youngest son, was cool with one of our friends, my friends. They were boyfriends, right? So she must have been complaining to him because she knew me and was like, oh, your son and these other boys that's around her, whatever, and that influenced my son to be gay or influence in bed, like, stuff like that. Or whatever. Did she know that the boy was totally comfortable with himself? He had told his mother way before he met me that he was this way, And she just was living in a state of denial and didn't want to realize she was Jehovah's Witness. You know, she didn't want to accept it. So, anyway, my family had been hearing stuff about me for a long time now, and this crowd that I'm on. You know, back in Bermuda, you run with anything that looks strange, you can get around. Your name's gonna get around, right? So, got back to my dad. My dad came here that night. We was staying Devil's Hill that night over with family. He came in the front room. I was in there watching TV. My mom was on the couch, and he came in there, and he just looked stressed. And I heard him talking. How was your day? She's just like, ah. And they was whispering, and I was just like, I didn't really pay it no mind. So then he came in the room and he was asking me these questions, like who's this person and who's this person, and these were people that I would hang with, and one of them was like one of the I considered that they considered at the time to be, you know, for one of the biggest open gay person males in Somerset at the time, and that was one of my best friends at the time. So my dad was asking me, who's this, and now I'm scared as shit because I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, it's like, what does he know? Because he's looking at me like he wants to string me up by my neck. So he's coming closer to me and I'm turning on like, I don't know. I'm denying everything, right? So he goes, I'm going to ask you one more time. So then I said I didn't know again. Anyway, he came out and said, the lady said this and said this and said this and told me everything right there. And I was just like, oh, no, he didn't. This and this and this. So he just lost it. He ended up losing it. Came over to me, put me in a headlock. And I was like, 15, 16. And so he put me in a headlock and was like choking me and was just like, I guess, you know, at that point, in their mind, like this gay thing just never went away. You know, it never went away. We thought that he was better or we thought whatever. So he was just so pissed off. Then he was fighting. So then in my rebellious state, got very angry, and I was just like, well, hold up, you ain't the most role models, perfect dad of the year award yourself. You know, because at this time, my dad was battling drugs, right? So, addiction. And so, he had put the family through a hell of a lot. My mom through a lot. And so, at that point now, I was old enough to speak up. And so, I just did just that. I wasn't proud of it, but I turned around and I punched my daddy in the face. And we ended up fighting. And we had a physical fight. And the people that I was living with trying to break us up, they had broke us up or whatever. I told them, F you, I hate you, I wish you would die. The whole nine. And then I went and I just stormed out the house and I went walking. This was one of the most emotional times for me. And I was walking, I'll picture it, Devil's Hill. And it's weird because we were staying around by Devil's Hill by the beach. I walked all the way around by Crow Aquarium, the gas station, up the hill. I was just walking. When I used to get mad or I was depressed or something, I didn't know I need to clear my head, I would go walk. I would just walk. So I went walking, got all the way up there. Where actually my mom stays now, where we moved to. I never told you this, bum. Where we moved to, Radcliffe Road, right across from My Lord's Bay Road up Crow. You Bermudians know. Radcliffe Road, where you turn in there, where's my daddy found me? Because he came looking for me in his van. And he stopped me right there, and I got in his van. He came up to me. He was like, Joshua, get on. I was like, let me the fuck alone. You know, just, I was hysterical at this point. I didn't know why. It was a pivotal point for me.
So wait, you left Devil's Hill and went Tuckerstown Way? Or you went
I went
the
to
Aquarium Way?
The Aquarium Way.
Okay.
Middle Road, Shally Bay.
So you was almost halfway back.
Yeah, around
The sun,
Yeah.
right? Yes, got you.
So he stopped me there, I got in the van, and we just backed into that Radcliffe Road, right there at the beginning of the road a bit. And he just turned off the van and he wanted to talk. Now he wanted to talk, I guess I'm older, you know, whatnot. So he says, listen, I'm not here to argue, I don't want to fight you. He apologized for putting his hands on me. And he said, I love you so much, Joshua. There's nothing that you can do that would not make me not love you. You're my son, by like he was very emotional. He was crying when he was saying this, and he was like, I don't care, whatever. If this is what you want to be, if this is who you are, I love you, I accept you, you're my son. And all the time I'm sitting there, mad, just like, and him saying this threw me off because I was expecting another
blowout.
And I'm sitting there mad, but then I was just like, oh my God. So then I started crying. And at that point, I made a decision to tell my dad a lie. I was 15, 16. This thing wasn't done with me yet. But I wanted to be normal so bad. I craved to be normal. Whatever that means, how when people say, no, what's normal? I wanted to be normal, which was a straight male boy. To me, normal had a face, a smile, a dress, a speech, a look. It had a future. Football player. Come on. Let's be honest. Normal had a look for me. And for my dad to say that, for him to be able to willing to accept me that much, I could have had the perfect opportunity I saw to say, yes, I am bi, I am gay, this is who I am, and he could have accepted me. But what I said to myself was, I said that I lied to him, was I said that, no, I don't want to be this way. I don't like it this way, and I want to be normal. And I said that to him.
Wow.
And he embraced me, and we cried. And he told me, I'm not going to say, but he told me some stories about back in the day with him, because he was a real ladies man. And so he told me some stories, like he was just like me, like he was like a free spirit. He hung out with any and everybody.
Right.
If you treated him good, he treated you good. It didn't matter if you was gay, straight, black, white, a girl, nerd, jock, whatever. My dad was just an all-arounder. He was an all-arounder, and I'm the same way. But he was just like that. And so what happened was, he told me, some things like when he was like when back in the day when he used to go clubbing or to little parties and stuff like that, and it was just like, yeah, he knows how them guys are, like gay guys, and how they could be and stuff like that. So he was kind of just like, I guess, trying to pull out things to reckon with me at the time, because that was the situation, right? And I just thank him so much for that. But when I said I felt that I lied, or I said that I lied when I said I didn't want to be like that, I didn't. But like I said, that thing was not finished with me yet. That was just the beginning. I was 15, 16 years old. So there became many more times that I would,
of course,
act out and damn, people say stuff to him and stuff like that, throughout my years and things like that. But
so did he ever come around to, because obviously, like you said, that was 15. You're 35 now, right?
Yes.
So that means you're in between there, it's been 20 years. He just died, so it's been 18 years. He died 2 years ago, a year ago.
Yes.
19 years.
Yeah, last year.
So in any time during that time, did he ever reconcile in his mind, okay, this is just who Justice is going to be?
Yes.
Okay.
The best part about it is that I feel we didn't spend much more. I wanted more time with him. I definitely wanted more time with him. It's just, it's like, okay, like now that I have chosen, or now that I have chosen who I am, a heterosexual man, and that's the life I live, despite some scars that I might have, but that's who I am today. My rejection of his teachings when I was a teenage and being caught up and stuff like that, I rejected everything that he had laid out for me to learn, which is a lot of things about fixing stuff around the house, like how to be a man, being responsible, all these little things, how to fish, and different things like that I rejected when I was young, because I didn't want nothing to do with the straight male image or whatever, like that, whatever. So now that he's gone, it's like I have my wife here now, and I was starting a family, and it's like I want to be a certain man, and it's like I feel like I should be a certain man, and it's just frustrating because a lot of stuff comes up now, and it's like, well, earlier if I would have had listened to my dad and just paid attention when they say, like, you know, take heed and stuff like that, like maybe it would have been, maybe, you know, I would have had some skills or you know, something or whatever. And it's just like, it sucks because it's like I kick myself sometimes. I know my wife says don't do it, but like it's hard because it's like you're not gonna be this way forever. Like when you're young, you think that this is it. Like when you're a teenager and in your 20s, like this is who I'm gonna be for the rest of my life, and we don't take time to look at the future to say, hey, you're gonna, if you want to desire a wife and a kid later on, or this, or you're gonna go in a whole nother direction. You need to understand this now. You need to take these heeds and principles and what he had to teach me and learn, because now I'm kicking myself in the tail to the freaking rebellious boy back there when you wanted to be all about that crap or whatever. And it's like, no, you despise that stuff or you don't like it for yourself, and you made a new, you know, you became a new creature. Now it's like, no, it's like you have to learn how to be a man from scratch now. Well, I had teacher right in front of my face.
So here's a good thing, though. The good thing is, because you lost everything that you lost, when your children come, you will know what to do to make sure that they don't lose everything that you lost. That's the good thing. You got to look at that experience and learn from it and say, okay, I jacked up over here, so I have to learn. This is what the Bible says. Train up a child in the way it should go, and when it's old, it will not depart, right? So from the beginning, Will Smith's got the movie out. What's the movie with the sisters?
It's
King Richard.
Okay.
Right? He's got the movie out, and that man was done having children. He decided when he discovered tennis, that he was going to have 2 more children, and that he was going to be intentional about raising those children.
Right.
So when you and Shonday have your children, that experience that you had growing up, now you have tools.
Yes.
The tools may not have come the way you thought they were going to come, but there was a lesson in that big enough for you to learn, so that when your children come after you, you can train them from tiny. I'm not saying beat them.
Right. No. I know what
I'm just saying be intentional.
Yes.
Because a lot of times we have children and we're not intentional, and then they figure out things late in life or never figure it out.
Right.
And so they just meander. You don't have to have children that just meander. So be intentional. Learn the lesson. You learned the lesson.
Yes.
Be intentional. Right? OGOsh means original genetics.
Yes.
Josh. Yes?
Yes, it does.
What was the face for?
It was just when you said OG and the original genetics or whatnot. It was just like doing my little trademark smile and stuff like that.
Right.
It was just me being me. Because I was crying and I just feel.
I think that whole OG thing, I mean, to me, that's incredible. And I said this to you earlier.
Yeah, it was crazy.
You know, it's incredible that you, even in your ignorance, don't worry about them.
Yeah,
but
that's Meili.
Even in your ignorance,
right,
you had the fortitude to think original genetics. So there's an original man that God placed in you that's coming forth, and it's come forth.
Yes.
Living the original genetics of who you are.
Yes.
So when you have your children, you raise them in their original genetics.
Of course.
That doesn't mean they're not going to make stupid decisions.
No.
It just means that you're going to be intentional.
Yes.
And you're not going to fly off the handle, because you're in charge of your emotions. You said that.
Yes.
You're in charge of your feelings.
Even though I was just crying twice.
That's not a bad thing. And that's not unmanly. You know? But that's good, man. That's good.
Yeah, I really just, like, my heart goes out to people.
Yes.
That live in this state. It's not fun.
No.
It's not fun. Just briefly touching on back when I said the BS, that's what I meant. Like, I feel like that, and I know for sure that I'm not the only one on God's green earth that feels that them in this situation, in it, in feeling the feelings that it's BS and thinking you is free and happy and we're gonna hold hands and sing Kumbaya with rainbow ribbons going around a campfire and express ourselves in all kinds of crazy ways. I know they put that on TV shows and movies, and you might see it in Pride and real life and on social media. That's not my story. I like to live in the truth. I like to be honest, and I like to seek out the truth and for you to live in your truth. That was not a part of my truth, and so I had to change the story, which OG comes into place, like you said, my original genetics. So I had to search God and ask him, like, look, what are my original genetics? Because obviously using my free will, it's not doing it, boo. It's not doing it. Living how I want to live for Josh is not doing it. It didn't do it. I was unhappy. I was depressed. I was lost, and not taking skills even from what my father had to do. I was even lost further as a man, trying to be a man. You know what I mean? So you're trying to scramble and pull from her and this and this and this, and it's just a mess. When you have God and you just ask him a simple question as, who am I supposed to be? Please let me know. You created me. Who am I supposed to be? And then you humble yourself and listen for the answer, and he'll show you different signs, and he'll speak to you through different people. He uses who he uses to talk and interact with us, right? And so I got my answer, and now I've broken down myself to building it back up in my original genetics, which is what he created me to be. And walking in my gifts, such as this talk show that I have created, that it's something that I long to do. This is what I want to do. This is exactly what I want to do, is to just have a platform to share, to talk. Just sometimes to talk and to vent makes all the difference, and it can solve half the problem or the issue or the depression that you think you have.
Right.
So, like,
well, you've definitely in this conversation. I know you wanted me to ask you questions.
That's it. That's it.
Okay. I know that you wanted me to ask you questions, but your life's journey has definitely been a huge blessing to me. And
Thank you.
And I'm grateful for you sharing, because in you sharing, I've had a couple of aha moments too. And like I said to you earlier, 35, 53, 15, 10, we're all in different places, but we're on the same journey.
Oh yeah.
And it's just, matter of fact, it's just a fact of realizing where you are. And I have to ask God some questions.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, because that means if he can answer you, he can answer me. And if he can answer me, he can answer you. I'm done, brother.
Yes. Yeah, I really feel like
I was really worried about this whole thing.
I know.
For a couple of days.
I was nervous.
I was like, why you asked me to do this? I don't want to do this. And very up, I was like, can I get a flat tire? Please, can I get a
No, I wouldn't want to pick anybody else to do it with. You were the logical choice for me. You was the best choice for me. I believe, like you said, when we talked about people earlier, about if you don't know it, if someone's going through something, and like I said, they can only give cliche answers, they can only give this, they can only do this because they haven't walked in your shoes. They haven't did this. I've said this to Bay a lot. We've had a lot of arguments or debates about topics in our marriage or whatever's going on, and I've said to her, like, she just wants to comfort me. That's her. She loves to comfort me and to make me feel like it's okay, like it's okay, and she wants to understand so bad. But it's certain things I told her that you can understand because it's not your walk, and you've never had those shoes on. But it's okay.
That's okay. You're not gonna have the same experiences that I have.
Right.
So therefore, I just tell her like, I'm okay. Certain things, babe, I'm just gonna need to deal with in Josh time.
Right.
Or my
and that
way.
doesn't mean that he loves you any less.
No way.
It just means that he has to figure out how to figure it out by himself.
Yeah. Because you have to.
See, the thing is with women, right? Women were created to house, develop, and birth. Right?
Okay.
So her thing is to be a solution.
Yes.
And
Very
so
much.
normally, naturally, she's a solution.
Yes.
She's designed. Her OG is solution.
Yes. I love that.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand.
So by default, she's coming to you and saying, "Come on, babe, I'm got you.
Yeah.
I can nurture you into your solution."
Yes. Yes.
Like as a man, like I'm gonna till this ground.
Yeah. It's all on
I
me.
have to figure
It's
this
all
out.
on me. Yeah, yeah.
Because unless
Yeah.
I figure this out, I'm gonna give you crap.
Yes.
And then it's gonna come out of you as crap.
That's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. So the journey is still much ongoing one.
Yeah.
But I've come miles.
Good.
And it took me a long time for me to really see that and realize that. Because like you said, when it's your life, you're in it.
Yeah.
You don't really see the long way you've come.
Right.
But some of my friends and old friends and family members,
Can see it.
especially family members, they're like, Josh, you've come millennia. You've come millennia from the broken little boy we saw coming up. And your attitude, your anger. I had serious anger issues because of this. The dark place that I stayed and lived in. Like they said, you have come eons. Good. And I started realizing and seeing that myself in the last, I want to say 5 years.
Good.
So.
How long you guys been married? 3?
We've been married for 2.
2 years?
But we've been together for 9, 8.
No, you're not.
Yes. 2015.
Really?
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Next year we'll make it. No, so next year will be 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we've been together for 6, going on 7.
No, with this camera, have you made me look
He put.
You want amps?
Yes!
Want some hurt too?
No, I don't like this.
We give you 22 inches like a
Right, this is it. We could give you some Nicki Minaj things if you want to. All right.
Technology can go a lot.
I'm telling you.
You can give me air to take my clothes off.
Sure. Yes.
Hey, I'm just in a meeting. Let me call you when I get out. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So, guys, OGs. It has been an episode today. It has been an episode, honestly. I was very nervous doing this, but I wanted to do it because I wanted to give you guys an in-depth look, or somewhat of an in-depth look into my life, and just to share my part of my life and part of my story with you. And I hope it really inspired someone or touched somebody, or if it didn't, just give you a laugh. It gave you a laugh. My mission's complete. So if y'all will follow, subscribe, share to get this platform going, because I'm really trying to get into all avenues. We're thinking radio, all types of things, man. And if any of you want to reach out to me or to be on the show or whatever, on this episode, this is going to be released on Tuesday mid-morning. I would have my number and my all my social media contacts. You can contact me, my WhatsApp, and let me know if you want to talk about something, or you have something to, or just to reach out to me. You know what I mean? I do not bite hard. So I just want to say to all my OGs out there, I love you guys, and I wish you all the best and have a blessed one. And remember, you've been in the cut with me, your boy, OG Ash. Peace.